Hello, 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 divas. How are you? Okay, it's Wahima. I'm back. So, I'm going to do a tag. It's the 20 facts tag. Okay, let's start again. Because I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Hi, divas. How are you? It's Wahima. I'm back with a facts tag. Twag? No. Hi guys, it's Wahima. Welcome back. Thanks so much for watching. So today I'm going to do a 20 facts tag. 20 facts about me, if you wanted to know things about me. So the first thing, which is also coincidentally the most embarrassing thing about me that is a fact, is that I suck my thumb. Okay, so I started sucking my thumb at the age of 3. They said that I learned it from a family member. I remember sucking my thumb all throughout elementary school, like in the 5th grade, sitting in class, thumb in mouth, like what? And then I went to junior high and I stopped sucking my thumb in public. And over the years, it has definitely weaned. I wouldn't consider myself a thumb sucker currently. But there are times where I'm like really tired or sleepy or feeling like extra something and I find my thumb in my mouth. And it's usually when I'm laying down watching a movie or something and it happens to me. And then I'm like, ugh. And it's usually a moment where it's like, ah. And then I'm like, what is this foreign thing in my mouth? So here's evidence. This is the evidence of me being a thumb sucker. Look at my thumbs. Look how the difference in the shape. This one is considerably flatter than this one. I used to not be able to go to sleep without it. So sleepovers when I was younger were really hard. I used to like sleep underneath the covers. I used to not be able to sleep at all without it. It was very difficult for me. Terrible/difficult, which is difficult. People used to try to make me feel bad about it. I had people who would tell me that I wouldn't have a boyfriend if I sucked my thumb. It was the most comforting thing that I could possibly do. It's like times of high stress, times of being scared, times of being annoyed, times of whatever. Sucking my thumb is what calmed me down. Whenever I see a kid sucking their thumb, I'm like, you know what, kid? Go on with your bad self. Because I know that it is the most comforting thing that's happening in your life right now, and right now, you really need it. I am Garifuna. Now, if you don't know, or Garifuna as different depending on where you're from, I say Garifuna because I like to roll my R. The Garinugu are people who live in Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras. It is a culture. We have our own language, we have our own food, we have dance, we have music, we have all those things that make up an ethnicity. My dad is from Belize. He was born in Guatemala. I have family that's from Guatemala and I have family that's from Honduras as well. I don't know my Honduras family. And I met my Guatemalan family about 6 or 7 years ago. They are descendants of African slaves who got away from the island of St. Vincent. They made it to the mainland of Central America and they intermingled with the Arawak Indians and some other cultures, and we have what is present day Garifuna, or Garifuna. There are some Garifuna who would consider themselves Spanish because they are from Spanish nations, i.e. the ones who are from Honduras. I don't know how the ones from Guatemala feel, but they may feel the same way too. Their first language is obviously Spanish, which is the language of their country. In Belize, everyone speaks English, and it's national language, not everyone speaking English, but it's a national language. And so my dad grew up speaking English and Garifuna and what is like what we call Creole, which is like the way that most Caribbean people speak English. That's what Belizeans call it. They call it Creole. Boy, Wataguan, and all that stuff. This is like our national symbol now, the drums. I grew up with, my dad is Garifuna, my mother's American, Black American. And so I grew up in my house with drums all my life. My dad plays the drums. We have 3 different types of drums in our house. My dad was in a Garifuna band growing up, so it was always a lot of Garifuna music. I know basic Garifuna phrases like go get your shoes, shut the door, be quiet, get out of the room. All those nice things you say to your children. It's a big part of who I am, being Garifuna. because it's a culture and everything that I grew up with, and food and family and all that jazz. So yes, big up to the Garifunas, Ubafu Lung Garifuna. All right, so next I have, I love paranormal romance novels. I love sexy vampires being sexy while having sex. Like, I started out as a very educated reader. I started out in I remember in the 6th grade reading The Color Purple. Like, I remember reading like good quality books. And then all of a sudden I read Harry Potter, and I like jumped into fantasy. And I read Harry Potter, and then I read Twilight, and then I read The Golden Compass, and then I read all these other books that fall under the fantasy young adult world. And then all of a sudden I got really tired of the angst. Like, I'm like, why aren't these people, they love each other, why don't they just have sex? So then I discovered romance. And it happened when I started reading the Sookie Stackhouse novels, aka True Blood. But I started reading Sookie Stackhouse before True Blood was even a thing. So I started on the Sookie Stackhouse novels, and that's where it was like mystery but still paranormal romance. And then I moved on and got into J.R. Ward. Girl, if you guys do not know who J.R. Ward is, if you are okay with reading a romance novel with vampires, you need to start with Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. It'll change your life. Next, I'm an aspiring actress. I went to school for theater in college, and it's something that I'm passionate about, and I wish that I wanted to do something else so that I could just be settled already in my life, but that is all I want to do. I want to make money by entertaining and being creative, and usually that comes out when being an actress. I love soul music. Soul music is the shit. I love the horns. I love the rhythm of the music. Like, not even the words. I'm talking about the actual music of soul music. I love it so much. I also really, really enjoy music standards sung by Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and Nat King Cole, like all the 40s. Big fan. I love me some Lena Horne. Whew. That's not soul music, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it all derives from that. And so I'm really into that kind of music. And if I could put out an album, it would be a compilation of songs from the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s, and the 70s. Those are my preferred eras of music. The 80s too, and you know, we got some good stuff in the 90s, but you know, put some Nat King Cole on, some Lena Horne, and I'm in heaven. Even like Anita Baker, like I love that jazzy, I love all that. I really love musical theater. It started out with My Fair Lady and Annie, and my father is the reason why I'm into it. He recorded all that stuff when I was younger on VHS when it would come on TV late night or whenever, and he would be like, oh, I have this movie for you, and he'd pop it in, and it was My Fair Lady. And when I first saw The Little Mermaid, I was like, oh my god, I love this. And like, I just really love musicals, any kind of musical. I do not like Frozen. I can't harmonize, and that really upsets me. I'm jealous of anyone who can harmonize. I can hear it, but I don't get how to do it. Like, I can hear when it's happening. When someone teaches it to me, I can do it. I wish that I could do that so bad. I kind of want to be a lounge singer as well. If that were still a thing where you could be a lounge singer, I would be a lounge singer. I love karaoke. I did a lot of karaokeing in New York City. In fact, doing karaoke is what honestly saved New York City for me. My first 2 years were a little rough and I was sad and new friends, and then I discovered karaoke and then everything got better. I suffer from migraines. If anyone suffers from migraines, you know what I'm talking about. I take sumatriptan, aka Imitrex, and it has been a godsend. I started getting them in college around the time that I was probably about 22. Many things are trigger. Some things, they're just no trigger. Sometimes my body's just like, you know what? You haven't been in pain in a long time. Here's a migraine. Go ahead. Take your time. So it usually lasts 3 days. I have to take medication for all 3 days. I get them from alcohol, so I don't drink any hot alcohol. No, not even a little. No, not even a shot. No, not even one drink. Not even one beer. And you know, that's also another thing that's a little bit annoying, is that I try to explain to people, like, I don't even try. I'm just like, oh, I don't drink. Oh, why? I get migraines. Oh, you can't even have a little? What is the point? What is the point in having a little bit? What is the point of having Not enough alcohol to get buzzed or to feel good or to be nice. I don't want to have wine because everybody else is having wine just so I could have excruciating pain for the next 3 days, just so that you could feel better about me not drinking. Anywho, alcohol does it for me, all kinds. Onions do it for me. I cannot eat raw onions or smell raw onions. That smell, or even like, you know, sometimes BO smells like raw onions. That smell kills me too. A lot of cologne does it to me. If it's not like if it's not good cologne, I don't know how to explain it. If it's, you know, old man cologne, I can't do it. None of that old stuff. None of that like heavy, resting on your olfactory glands smell. That's what does it for me. Not eating. I have to eat 3 to 5 times a day. I usually, first thing when I get up in the morning, I have to eat something because my stomach is hurting, it's rumbly, I'm angry, I have to eat. If I do not eat in the morning, I will get a headache, a migraine. And there's a difference between a headache and a migraine. A headache, even if it's a really bad headache, it's not a migraine. Next, Oprah is my queen. I love Oprah so much. Anytime I see her on a magazine cover, or I see her on TV, or I see her doing anything, I have to stop and watch it. I'm not like a uber Oprah fan, like I don't know everything about her life, but I really like her, and if I met her, I think I wouldn't be able to speak. Also, Whoopi Goldberg is like her sister in the royal family, so I love Whoopi Goldberg too. I don't know that I would be able to speak to her either. And that stems to my next thing. It's my favorite movie is The Color Purple. I watch The Color Purple all the time. I read the book several times, and I don't know what about that story just really spoke to me. When I was growing up, I think I felt a lot like Celie. I felt a lot of being stuck in a situation and not being able to get out of it. As far as like just growing up and being a kid and just really just wanting to make my own decisions but not being able to because I was a kid. Robin Hood is my favorite Disney movie. Little John and Robin Hood walking through the forest. Ooh-la-di, golly, what a day. Michael Jackson is my favorite pop star. Current. I don't care if he's not here anymore. He's currently my favorite pop star. Next is Prince. I love the gays and I support all of their civil rights. I have depression. I know a lot of people, I'm just gonna jump into this a little bit. I know a lot of people think most of the time that depression is like just being really sad. Depression literally is when your brain and the chemicals in your body shake up and then there's like a cocktail. You know how sometimes you make a cocktail and sometimes it has too much alcohol in it and it's strong, and sometimes it has too little and it's weak, and then sometimes it's like just right? That's what like depression is, that's what it's like to have depression. Sometimes you're like, everything is great. Like, I understand that bad things happen, and I understand that good things happen. And then everything is great. And then there's other times where, girl, you do not, like, your brain literally switches up. Like, the cocktail of the hormones and the chemicals in your brain and your synapses just change. And all of a sudden it's like, why do I have to live? Like, why? Like, I don't understand the existential purpose of my life in this world. Like, and you're really, like, you don't get it. Like, and you're trying to think about it and you're trying to justify it, and you have people who love you, but you still don't feel loved, and you still feel like the worst. And it's the worst when you feel that you're the worst, you know? Anyways, so I love gold. All of my jewelry needs to be gold. When I have any sort of metallic on a handbag or in shoes, I prefer for it to be gold. Gold, gold, gold. I buy Erykah Badu and Jill Scott albums, even though the last album that I really listened to by Erykah Badu was Mama's Gun. And the last album that I really, really listened to by Jill Scott was her first one. But I own all of their albums because I love them and I support them. I wear glasses. I only not wear glasses in tutorials. I wear glasses most of the time. Like right now, my vision is a little blurry. It isn't bad. Like I could drive around in the day in a neighborhood that I know without glasses on. But I wouldn't go to the movies without glasses because I would get a headache, a migraine. And I prefer to have them on because I can't. I like to see things crystal clear as opposed to kind of fuzzy and like weird. I love to see action movies in the movie theaters. I think there is nothing more exciting than going to see whatever new Marvel or whatever new Planet of the Apes, whatever new whatever shows or movies that are in the movie theaters that are action, that are like big budget bang, I love to see them in the movie theaters. My favorite movie of this summer was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I love that movie. I love that franchise. So yeah, I want big budget, like that kind of movie. I'm not interested in like Liam Neeson running around or like Jason Statham, even though I would have seen another Fast and Furious because I do love that. But I want to see like big budget, like CGI stuff. I love to see that stuff in the movie theaters. So that's it. That's my 20 things tag. 20 facts about me. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them in the comment box. But yeah, that's it, girl. Thanks so much for watching, as always, and you guys have a fantastic day. Bye.